Time to review another movie. Let's do it. So just a warning, this review might have some mild spoilers. One thing that I've been doing that I suggest everyone start to do is I actually like to watch movie reviews after the movie. I think that's the best way to avoid spoilers, and I think that's the best way to really have an in-depth look at what the critic thinks. Not saying that I'm a real critic or anything. But today, we're going to be reviewing Alex Garland's new movie, Annihilation, starring Natalie Portman, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Tessa Thompson, and Gina Rodriguez, among other people, and Oscar Isaac. I didn't really know what to expect going into this movie because Alex Garland has made a pretty good but pretty weird movie. I actually love the movie. It's called Ex Machina, which I have right here. So Ex Machina is a pretty good movie. I liked it a lot when I saw it. So I was optimistic yet on the fence because I didn't really know what this film was going to be. I expected it to be weird, but whoa, was it weird? It was beyond weird. This film is an acid trip. After the film was over, I turned to my friend and I'm like, "Did you put something in my drink before I watched this movie?" Like, holy crap. Like, this movie puts Doctor Strange to shame. Over how much of an acid trip it is. Here's the thing about Annihilation. I'm just gonna get straight to the point. I'm gonna get to the pros first. It's a gorgeous looking movie. It is. The cinematography is great all around. I think it's shot very well. However, that's not a saving grace for a movie with me. You can make anything really look pretty. If the story's bad or if it's not engaging, it doesn't really make sense. For me, although it's beautiful to look at, the story and the movie still fell flat for me. There's something about this film that just didn't resonate with me. And look, I like a lot of huge artsy films. I do. Like I said, I like Ex Machina. But this film I thought was just too, and I hate to use this word, but it's true, it felt too pretentious. Chris Stuckman said that he loved the film because it encourages discourse.
Films like Annihilation are the types of movies that film nerds are going to want to get together and talk about and really start a discussion. And I loved it.
I highly disagree. Because for me and my friends, I went with two friends, we talked about it a little bit, but we don't really think it encouraged that much discourse because we didn't really care about the film after it was done. We didn't care about anybody. There was really no one to latch onto in this film. There's a lot, actually pretty much every single character is unlikable, especially the main character. There's a scene where Natalie Portman does something, and if you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. It's this out-of-nowhere scene. It just makes the character super unlikable. This is the person that the film, when it started, you were supposed to attach yourself to. But it just kind of fell flat because I didn't find myself attaching myself to her. I didn't really find myself caring about her. And then when that scene happened, I'm like, okay, now I really don't care about this person. All of the other characters, Tessa Thompson, especially Jennifer Jason Leigh, and Gina Rodriguez, they felt very wooden and felt very one-dimensional. I don't really think there was any substance to their characters. You can tell that they're trying to give a more nuanced performance, but you can tell, at least in my opinion, that it feels like they weren't really given enough direction to really know where to go. So they're either super high in their performances or super low. Like, they don't get mad, they get mad. There's really no nuance to it, at least in my opinion. And let's get down to the brass tacks here. This film's biggest misfire is that it's boring. And I just want to clarify something here. I'm not your Transformers loving, anything with explosions I'll love kind of guy. That's not me. I love art house films. My favorite film genre is drama. But there's a difference between being slow and being boring. Here's a list of slow films that are not boring. Blade Runner 2049, Arrival, Love, Tree of Life, The Signal, heck, even Ex Machina. I love all those films. And a lot of those are art house films. But the thing is, with this film, there's nothing engaging you. With those other films, there's something gripping you and there's something compelling that you can still hold on to during those slow moments. You're still interested. With Annihilation, I wasn't interested in anything that was happening because there were no relatable characters, there were no likable characters. All the characters seemed one note. It just didn't feel like it was moving. And another thing with art house films is I encourage people to make art house films. I love art house films. Like I said, I love Tree of Life. I love Love. I love The Signal and Arrival. But the thing is I think Jeremy Jahns put it the best way when he said you have to stick the landing. Because even with something like Arrival, which is a movie I love, I really wasn't 100% with it. until the third act twist. And then I'm like, okay, I love this movie. So I wasn't with Annihilation, but I'm like, okay, this can still redeem itself. And there was a point where I thought it was. There's a point, I think, during the second half where something happens. It's the best scene of the movie. Mild spoilers here. The three main characters are tied to a chair, and there's this really tense moment. And I'm like, okay, if from here on out this movie can keep this pace and keep this going, I'll be super into it. But they don't. They abandon it, and then they wax philosophical about this, the meaning of life, and they do it in like this soap opera staccato that I just can't get behind. It's just it's super pretentious in my opinion, and I hate criticizing movies. I do, because I know a lot of work went into this movie. I know a lot of work went into the making of it. I love Alex Garland's previous film Ex Machina, but for me it just didn't resonate. Overall, it was an art house film, but it's a really forgettable art house film in my opinion. I know I'm in the minority with this film. I know that. I know I'm gonna have my other film-loving friends are going to absolutely love this film. Tyler, I'm looking at you. I feel like this movie is going to be like another Interstellar situation, where I love Interstellar. Actually, I don't love Interstellar. I like Interstellar, but I feel like this is going to be a movie where people are like, oh, you just didn't get it. You just didn't get it. This is what it's really about. And it's like, no. I get it. Okay? I get it. But the characters are weak. They're unrelatable, and on top of being unrelatable, they're unlikable, they're wooden. I didn't attach myself to anyone. When the characters were tied to a chair and something was about to kill them, I couldn't care less about any of them. You need to have strong, relatable characters at the base of your pyramid in order to have a good structure, in order to have your poetry really stand out. And I just didn't feel that. I feel like they used ambiguity as almost like, for lack of a better word, a gimmick. Like they used ambiguity as in like, we'll leave this ambiguous because of this and that. And if you see the film, you know what I'm talking about. They're just using ambiguity as a tool rather than an actual thing to really make a compelling story, at least in my opinion. Okay, because you have to earn your ambiguous endings. You have to earn them. And while I think this film earns it more than most, I think a lot of films nowadays don't realize that there's a difference between an ending being ambiguous and an ending being abrupt. Okay, that's why you can't just cut a film in the middle and say, oh, that's the ending, because it would just be abrupt. You have to earn your ambiguous endings. Inception earned its ambiguous ending. Annihilation even earned its ambiguous ending. Something like Super Dark Times, which I love, one of my favorite films I've seen in the past 5 years is Super Dark Times. That film did not earn its ambiguous ending, and that was the only criticism I had of that film. But I digress. Overall, I really wanted to like this film. It really sucks that I didn't. I'd honestly, if anyone is thinking about seeing this film, I say go ahead, do it. Unfortunately, a lot of these films don't make a lot of money. But you know what? I like to go out of my way to see these types of films. I saw The Signal in theaters. I encourage people to go see films like this because I want to see more films like this. Even though I didn't particularly like Annihilation, I still think we need more films like this because I love art house films. This one was just a little too pretentious for me. All right, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I got for you guys. Yeah.